So, bro, it is a terrible record that we've got at Anfield. Like, this is a sort of record that Arsenal fans had at Old Trafford, in terms of not
Yeah.
going there and getting results. So there's no better time. There's no better time than to pull a result. And to be fair to Amorim, last season at Anfield, the 2-2, if you remember, we should have won when Xerxes squared it and Maguire should have scored. We should have won that game. So it is proven that we can go there and cause them a problem. And as I said, there's no better time to play them right now, them coming off of 3 losses.
And allowed Nigeria, these super chickens, I can't stand these fucking idiots. Oh my God, to go through. That's a basic explanation.
That is crazy. That is corruption at its highest, bro.
Corruption.
That is real corruption right there. Like that is crazy.
Bro, you don't understand how fuming I am.
Like,
bro, I'm happy that Otto said what he said. He said that now just because we've got qualified for the World Cup, you want to come and then try and just jump on the bandwagon and such and take our spots.
100, and I hear you, and I think you've put it well. And I think because there's 2 sides to this. There's a side where I completely agree with you. They treat their mother countries as second rate. So it's only when they realize that they will never play for them, or it's they're getting successful, or it's they're 30, 31 now and they still haven't got an international cap. So now it's like, yeah, let me go and play for my mother country. And that's what's annoying. It's the fact that they treat these countries as second rate, and it's like, well, nah, I don't really want to play for you, but I'll have you as an option just in case it doesn't work out for the country that I'm living in.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Yes, people, another edition of Knights of the Round Table discussions where we discuss all sports all the time. Got my guy ST in the building. How are you doing, sir?
As you can see, I'm very happy. We'll get into it. You know what I mean? You get me? Ghana for. Listen, sorry, actually, we started. Let me just compose myself. You know, I'm good. I've had a good week. It's been a while, but we're back.
Nah, yeah, it has been a while, and we have been back, and it's been a good. Like, obviously, this international break has been good for you, but obviously even before that, bro, with Sevilla beating up Barcelona as well just before it.
This is what I'm saying. The man them used to laugh at me, but we're back. You get me? Even Man United won before I left. Sevilla did the mad thing. I know we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But they still won. Man United did the one, which I'm surprised about. Sevilla did the mad thing. We told Rashford to go sit down. And then look at my boys in Ghana. Yenko.
It's been a positive. But people, yes, Footie chat is back. We've got quite a bit to cover today, so we're going to be talking about, as ST alluded to, obviously what's gone on in the international break, obviously what's going to be coming up in the Premier League as well, and a few other bits and pieces to get through. But as usual, before we start, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get the likes up, get the subscriptions up on the same time. Share. We are here, and don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. ST, there's no better place to start, obviously. International break has taken place. I know a lot of people are obviously upset because, like, who wants the international break? But it has been positive. Obviously, a lot of teams have confirmed that they will be playing in the World Cup next year, and obviously your boys have secured their World Cup place. Obviously, I know you're happy. It's been a great qualifying for you lot, and I think it's been good because when you go back to the World Cup in 2022, it was seen as the revenge arc, obviously, because you had Uruguay. Didn't quite work out that way, and since then it's been sort of a nosedive. Obviously, you went out early in the Afcon. We went out in the group stages in it, and that was a shambles in itself.
Yeah, we had Comoros in that group as well, who knocked us out as well.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Mozambique
that Afcon was crazy, yo. The
Bro,
Afcon was crazy, and obviously not qualifying for the Afcon that's coming up in January. So the fact that you lot have kind of been in the mud and you've dusted yourselves off and qualified for another World Cup, bro, you must be gassed.
Oh, you don't understand how happy I am. What's happened is that all our players that didn't perform at the World Cup, and during the Afcon series have performed really. Jordan Ayew has really stepped up as a captain. All his performances have been excellent. And we both have been very critical of him. There was times we were saying,
you need to get rid of them. They're a curse. I still think they're a curse.
You probably still think that, but no, we need him. I'll be honest. He's actually, now I can safely say I think he's grown into the captaincy role. So I have to give him credit.
Is he still at Leicester?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
But he's not playing at the moment. Fatawu is, and he's one of our better players. He's come back from injury. So he's playing well. Kudus, that guy is quality.
Yeah, honestly, top assist in the Premier League as well.
Yeah, actually, technically very good. Semenyo as well.
Oh, balling. Easily.
Absolute balling.
Yeah.
Partey, obviously. Obviously, our midfield, Sibu is the revelation. He's been doing very well. Oviedo as well. I've watched a little bit of him. So he's done well in the Spanish league. And obviously, I like our centre-backs a lot. Jiku and Salisu. I think both of them have been very good. And yeah, I have to say I'm so happy about Ghana. We've been playing good football against the Central African Republic. We played excellent football. It was probably I haven't enjoyed a Ghana match like that for a long time where I wasn't worried.
Fair.
And when we killed off and we scored a lot of goals. And then obviously we struggle usually with Comoros because they beat us earlier in the qualifiers. But I think Otto-Addo deserves credit. I do still have reservations about his in-game management a little bit. I still see things. However, we have to say well done. Ghana scored a lot of goals. We were fluent, composed on the football. And you know what? Ghana, we are coming. You know what I mean? The jollof, bring the jollof there. Canada, Mexico, we're coming. USA, Trump, Kwabena Trump, let us in. Let us in. You know what I mean? Don't be selfish. Let the man them in. You know, we're gonna bring joy, laughter, vibes, food. You know what? You know how it is. It's gonna be another Unity Cup, but this time we're gonna do a lot better. But yeah, as you can see, I'm so happy. Usually, I'm on the potty depressed about certain teams that I'm supporting, but all my teams are up at the moment. But Ghana, they made me proud, and it's a shame that we're not in the Afcon. But at the same time, what can you do? You have
to look at it as a positive and say you're not in the Afcon, which is a shame. But obviously, them players don't have to compete in tournament football. It is a shame that you're not there, but you just got to look at it and say you just keep performing for your clubs. And obviously, the main focus now is on the World Cup 2026. So you've got to say congratulations to Ghana. Also, my boys, Ivory Coast.
115th
Ivorian, bro. We qualified as well, obviously defending champions in Afcon as well. So I'm happy. Like we didn't concede a goal. We absolutely smashed it, bro. And Gabos ran us good.
Yeah, Gabon gave us a good run. Scorers.
Yeah,
and you were the top scorers as
bro.
well.
Listen, we're just doing it. Frank Kessie's back, bro. Frank Kessie is back. Like obviously, Ahmad doing his thing. Nicolas Pepe doing his thing as well. Obviously on the bench, our bench is strong. Dingra and all them man there.
Yeah, the youngster Diamonde is a very good player. I like him. He's good. Yeah. And then you've got Sangare as well. Listen,
now we've got players.
You got players. It's obviously not the bigger names like what you have previously.
Yeah, the Drogbas and the Yayas and Polo and all
that.
But
they're still very good.
Yeah. Now we've got quality, and I'm glad that we've qualified. So obviously we now just focus on the Afcon, trying to defend our crown. It's not going to be easy. But yeah, looking forward to Ivory Coast being in the World Cup. Obviously, my mother team, Jamaica, right now, we've still got work to do.
We're
We
all
could have
praying
had
that
the
we get
job
there.
done if we would have done what we were supposed to do and beat Kirk. Let me not get. Let me.
It's okay. It's
Let
okay.
me get.
You're
But it's
it's still in your hand.
it's
In
in
your
our
hand.
hands. We just need to make sure that we beat Trinidad and beat Curacao at home, and then hopefully we will be there. So we still got jobs to do in the November qualifiers. So let's hope. We hope and pray that they're
We
through.
pray.
But team that got lucky. Your ultimate rival is Nigeria,
These
bro.
super chickens, bro. I can't stand these flipping these cunts.
Like
Bro.
I can't because I genuinely thought they were out, bro. I thought they were out because South Africa went on one, and then that's why I said to you, I was like, how have they gone into the playoffs if they finished third? And then I saw that obviously they finished ahead of Benin, and I was like, what? I was like, how is this making any sense? Like, it just didn't make sense. And then obviously, how the whole because I didn't understand how the playoffs were going to work in the first place. But then obviously, ST, I'll let you explain it and what actually happened and how they qualified because to me, it just sounds wrong on so many levels.
Is very wrong, and I feel sorry for certain countries. So just to let you know, Eritrea didn't compete in the qualifiers. They were in the group
What
with
at all?
yeah, at all. They weren't in the group with Morocco, so they did it last minute. So they weren't in the group. They were supposed to be in the group with Morocco, Niger, those countries,
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
didn't qualify. So that's a game left. So what these foolish people at the CAF did was they took the last they deducted the points from the bottom teams in each group from the points that the other teams won. And Nigeria didn't do very well against Zimbabwe. I think they drew twice, one of them, and I think they drew once, lost once, I think, to them. So they didn't really get any points taken off. For example, whereas a team like Uganda, they and Burkina Faso and stuff like that, they took their points away from teams which they did very well against. Like they got 6 points and stuff like that, which ultimately affected both countries and allowed Nigeria, these super chickens, I can't stand these fucking idiots. Oh my god, to go through. That's a basic explanation.
That is crazy. That is corruption at its highest, bro.
Corruption.
That is real corruption right there. Like that is crazy.
Bro, you
That
don't
has
understand
happened.
how fuming I am.
Like,
bro. And also I need to cuss Benin as well. Benin, that voodoo country as well, bro. I swear down, bro, you lot had it in your back. Bro, you didn't need to lose like that. Obviously, we're gonna get to Osimhen. I have to give him respect. Like, he did his thing.
Yeah, he
but,
did.
But still, you foolish,
I,
bro.
I mean, most people would say because of the names that Nigeria have, they would want them at the World Cup. But obviously, I know
Oh,
your
we
rival.
don't care. We don't care, nah. Nah. You know what? For the names, listen. I'm gonna be very honest. Nigeria have an excellent squad, but until recently, this manager, we saw him in the Unity Cup come, and I think he is a very good manager. He's done well for them. I was just hoping that they wouldn't get through because Nigerians, they will chat so much. They'll talk so much nonsense, bro. But you know what? I have to be honest, they got some very good players, you know. Osimhen's a fantastic player. Did literally turned up when he needed to. But these super Pelicans got Hey, listen, Aubameyang, if you're watching, bro, listen.
Man said, Gabon, come and do it.
Do it, and if not
Mbeumo and them, man.
Mbeumo or Vita, one of you guys, listen, crush your team, yeah. Francophone countries, yeah. Listen, unite. Set some boots. You know them ones. I'm there, bro. I'm there for you lot, bro.
Sugar, that is funny, bro. But nah, we'll see what happens with the Nigerians, bro. But speaking of this, obviously we know the likes of like England have qualified and Spain and all that, and all these other teams have qualified and whatnot. But speaking of this, and specifically on Ghana, bro, because obviously the day after that you lot, no, was it the day after? Yeah, the day after you lot
Day
qualified,
after.
we then saw news break that Eddie Nketiah and Callum Hudson-Odoi wanted to switch allegiance and go and play for Ghana. Just your thoughts on that, because yeah, let me hear your thoughts on that first before I say what I'm going to say.
I think we.
I mean, we've already discussed it off air, but you know.
Yeah. I'll explain to the people what I think. My issue is this year. It's all good rejecting us when Ghana are down. But the fact that you've seen Ghana going to the World Cup, you've used this as an opportunity to think that you are better than some of the players that have started. And as Otto-Addo, our coach has said, he's had people, and I think he's talking about those two players and other players as well. He's had conversations with them, bringing them into the environment. The fact that you're now, after the hard work that all the players that have united, that have done all this to get to the World Cup, that you want to just then jump on the bandwagon when you weren't originally interested, just because you were deemed not good enough for England, infuriates me. Treating Ghana like second citizens, and this is what I don't like. And this is a lot of the African countries which they do. It's not only us. And my issue is, especially with people like Nketiah, Hudson-Odoi, even though I think in his position we're stacked, I think he could help us, even though I'm still annoyed. But Nketiah is not good enough. He's not better than Andre Ayew. He's not better than Semenyo. He's not better than all these other players. So, and my issue is you are never gonna make it at England. Let's be real. Like, I'm gonna be very honest. There were so many players in that position that are better than you, and you're not even starting for your club. At Arsenal, you weren't starting for your club. At Crystal Palace, you weren't starting for your club. At least Hudson-Odoi, even though I feel like he needs to get used to the pitches in Ghana, because that's a different thing. Africa is a different playing field, and he needs to get used to the team. I think at least he can help us, because I think technically he is pretty good. I'm not gonna take that away from him. Nketiah is not good like that. Like Crystal Palace, he barely plays. So the fact that you think that you had the arrogance to think that you're just gonna walk into the Ghana team, you're not good enough. You're not better than Pencil. You're not better than all these players. If you had then said I wanted to play from Ghana straight away, and even though I would have probably still thought you were not very good, I would have think, you know what, at least he's trying. But the fact that you didn't want to help us in the qualifiers, you were definitely one of the players who were called before the qualifiers to say, listen, come play for us. Because internationally, I'll be honest, England weren't calling you, bro. So I don't understand. Maybe the under-21s were calling you, but the actual England squad weren't calling you.
No.
So what makes you think that you can just jump into Ghana's team and play? And a lot of African players from the diaspora always do this. They always go and treat these countries as second citizen. And now look, it's not back in the day where we can say like all these African teams didn't have the players. A lot of African players are playing in Europe now, and in the big teams. It's not as easy as you think. Look at Ghana's squad. Even though Anaki's injured, look at all the other players that we have to replace him. It's like he wasn't even there, and these are top players. So yeah, I'm not happy about it, and I'm happy that Otto-Addo said what he said. He said that now because we've got qualified for the World Cup, you want to come and then try and just jump on the bandwagon and such and take our spots.
100, and I hear you, and I think you've put it well, and I think because there's two sides to this. There's a side where I completely agree with you. They treat their mother countries as second rate, so it's only when they realize that they will never play for them, or they're getting successful, or it's they're 30, 31 now and they still haven't got an international cap. So now it's like, let me go and play for my mother country, and that's what's annoying. It's the fact that they treat these countries as second rate, and it's like, well, nah, I don't really want to play for you, but I'll have you as an option just in case it doesn't work out for the country that I'm living in. And would it be England, France, Germany, Italy, any of those countries? Don't get me wrong, I completely understand it. When you are in with those countries for the exposure and the fact that you're regularly qualified for international tournaments and you live there, I get it. I get why you would want to do it, which is why I get Hudson-Odoi, because he burst on the scene at Chelsea. Yes, he was in and out, but he had a good season at Nottingham Forest last season as well. So you can kind of see, Nketiah is the one that doesn't make any sense to me, because you weren't starting at Arsenal. You went to Crystal Palace and you still ain't starting. You should have been with Gardner ages ago. Let's be real, because where are you going to get into the England team ahead of a Harry Kane? No chance. Callum Wilson, no chance. Ivan Toney, no chance. Ollie Watkins, no chance. They're all better than you. So
Rashford, no chance.
Rashford as well. So I'm just like, what were you thinking? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I get what certain people are saying. Well, we need all the help that we can get, but not at the detriment of the team harmony and the team spirit, because you've got players that have gotten you to this point, and then when you got to pick your squad of 22 or 24, whatever it is, and then you're saying, all right, cool, I'm going to bring in Nketiah and Callum Hudson-Odoi because they've played in the Premier League, but I'm going to leave out this guy and that guy. That is going to make people feel a type of way. So there has to be a balance to it. But at the same time, you cannot keep doing this. Bro, we got the same issue with Greenwood right now. We've been caught in Greenwood, telling him to come and play for us because obviously there's no chance he's ever going to play for England, obviously, after what happened, right? Man got his Jamaican passport. McLaren then tried to call him up for not these qualifiers, the qualifiers before. Man said, oh, yeah, I just want to focus on my club career. And I'm just like, well, okay, so you've done all that to say that. So obviously you don't want to play for Jamaica. So why not just come out and say that from the get-go? Why you got us dangling? Now, I get he's a massive talent. And as I said to you before, that bring Gunwood in. But I don't want you to come in when they absolutely shut it, even though the door's already shut on that England career. I know he's doing brilliantly at Marseille right now, but England ain't never going to take you back after what happened, bro. And you got the opportunity to play international football. If we had Greenwood for these qualifiers, for Caracas, we would have won. Because, bro, we had 18 shots. Greenwood would have scored 3 or 4 of them. We would have qualified. You could have been playing in the World Cup. But instead, you believe that you've got some hope that you're going to somehow play for England when it's never going to happen. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Now, I know we don't know the full ins and outs because we never will, but that's what it looks like on the face of it. Stop trying to treat these countries. And don't get me wrong, as I said, we're not in the same position that you lot are in Nigeria in where we can kind of turn these guys away because we haven't got the amount of quality that you do. Because what happens is, obviously, Raheem Sterling, another one, a lot of our players are playing for England. A lot of our players are playing for England, so we're never going to have that quality. Do you know what I mean? If we could take out the players that are of Jamaican descent out of the England team, there's not a lot. But when you look at the conveyor belt of players, there's a few that could have done something. Like we could, like if Raheem can't do nothing now, even at this time with Raheem the way how he is, we could use him right now. Do you know what I mean? So I think the point is that, and obviously you said Otto said it. Like, don't try and do this now just because we've made another World Cup. Like, you should have been there for the hard graft if you really wanted to play for us. And I said it's not just obviously West African, North African teams as well. A lot of them want to play for France. When they realize that they can't play for France, they then want to go to Algeria, want to go and play for Morocco. And then they're like, well, we got our own ballers. So you can hold fire with that. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's something.
That's a joke now.
And I think it's something that needs to be addressed because we're always looked at as these third world countries that are always going to be there until it's like, oh yeah, well, you know what? I'm not really going to do this a little bit. No, make it be your first choice. Let's not be a second choice. Like, let's not be the side chick that just waiting, hoping that one day you'll leave your wife. Like, nah, let's not do that.
Exactly.
Bro.
And look at you said. Look at the North African countries as well. all the French guys wanting to come. Look at the amount of players that those countries have. Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia. They got borders. You think they need you now?
Nah.
It's not like you can walk into the squad now. And like you
This is
said,
it.
you'll destroy the harmony of the squad. Like, and even the players there. And listen, I know Ghanaian people. The Ghanaians back home, they don't like people that don't respect that. They don't feel like you're from the country. Those players, and I'm pretty sure in the North African countries and in Nigeria, in Ivory Coast, and all these other countries, they're going to be looking at you like, you never wanted to play for us. You're not. Like, why are you playing for us?
Exactly, bro. But this is something that definitely needs to be asked. But that's a rant over. As I said, Ivory Coast and Ghana have qualified for the World Cup. That's the main thing.
Let's
So we'll be seeing
put the
people.
message down. We're happy.
We'll see you guys in 2026. But back to reality now. ST with the international break over, and I guess we have to talk about Man United, unfortunately, because there is, to be fair, there is quite a lot that's gone on. A lot of chatter has gone on over this international break, and there's no other place to start with than that corpse Ratcliffe coming out and basically saying that he would love to give the Moncler McLaren. He wants to give him a 3 years.
Man said that's the new one, Moncler McLaren.
Big up Stephen McLaren. If he can help us to qualify, then I'll take it back. But for now, that's what he's going to be called, bro. Saying the 3 year, like three more years in the job, and he decided to compare Amarim's tenure to what of Mike L, and say, look at the faith that Arsenal showed Mike L, and we want to do the same for Manchester United. And I found that ST a very... Look, he's played at the heartstrings of the Manchester United fans that have no sense, because
which is a lot of them.
They don't want the chopping and changing, but you've got to look at these things for what they are. And it's like, there's a lot of Manchester United, well, if you get, because the reoccurring question is, if you get rid of Amarim, who are we going to get in? And like to say, there's not managers out there the same way how when you said, if we get rid of Ten Hag, who are we going to bring in? Well, Man United, we can bring in a lot of managers, but it's one of them ones where I said, all right, cool. Corpse, Ratcliffe, let's test that theory. And Sky Sports tested that theory. 50 games, right? Mike L in all comps, 127. Amarim's 119. Mike L drew 10. Amarim drew 12. Mike L lost 13. Amarim lost 19. So on the scale of it, you look at it, the wins, there's a difference. The draws, nothing. All right, losses, there's 6 more losses there. So you're like, okay, cool. Goals scored, there's nothing in it. We scored 78. Arsenal scored 79. The goals conceded. Arsenal conceded 48 goals in Mike L's first 50 games. Amarim's conceded 76. Right? So that's all competitions. Mike L had a win ratio of 54% first 50 games. Amarim has a win percentage of 38%. That is a big difference in terms of percentage. That is a big difference in terms of goals conceded. Amarim has conceded 3 or more goals on 9 occasions since he's been at the football club, ST. And here's my issue with this whole let's go off the model of Mike L and Arsenal. I would say this. Mike L had worse players. Mike L came in a time where Arsenal were in turmoil because they were trying to get over the Wenger thing. But the thing I would say with Mike L is, as much as people, because they finished back-to-back 8th his first 2 seasons. Amarim's finished 15th in the first one. You don't know where he's going to finish in the second. So that's the thing. And Mike L came in, I think, December, whatever year he started, he came in December. Obviously, Amarim came in November. I think when Mike L came in, I think Arsenal were 10th. Whereas when Amorim came in, United were 14th, but I think we were only 8 points off top 4. It was something weird like that.
Yeah, we
For
were very
which we
close to
finished
top 4.
15th and we were nowhere near it. And Mike L actually finished 2 places above. So this is just to debunk this whole thing of the comparison, right? But the thing for me is that the goals conceded is where the big difference is, ST. Because we've watched Mike L, and as much as we criticized, we've watched him. And the one thing that's consistent is the goals conceded. Just kept on going down and down and down to the point where Raya won the Golden Glove last season, and Arsenal have started only conceding 3 goals in the league this season. Defensively sound, right? Amorim is leaking goals like girls leak on their periods, bro, with this team, right? And I'm sick. You cannot build anything when you haven't got the foundation. You can't build a house without the foundation. And my whole thing is everyone's talking about the midfield. Everybody seems to forget we've got 5 at the back. We've got 2 in midfield. We've got 7 players that are supposed to be protecting the goalkeeper. And we concede goals like it is nothing. That 2-0 win over Sunderland was the first time we kept a clean sheet since the 0-0 Manchester derby in April.
That's crazy.
Like what are we not seeing here? So the comparison between Mike L and Amorim is stupid because they're not the same. They're not the same, right? Mike L, it was tiny progress and then the big jump. And the biggest thing, ST, before I let you go, Mike L won the cup that he took over the team when he took over the team. He went and won the cup. Amorim went and lost it. So that tells me everything that I need to know is that these 2 managers are in completely different rooms when it comes to what we're looking. You can look at Mike L and say we're going to build because he was under the tutelage of Pep, and you could see that his thing was we're going to shut teams out and then we're going to go from there. Amorim consistently seems to be leaking goals left, right, and centre in a system that he is too rigid in, not willing to compromise on, and unfortunately cannot get these players to perform anywhere near what he needs them to do to get to where he wants to get to. So my whole thing is that why are we wasting time? ST, why? Why are we wasting time? Like that Sunderland game shouldn't have saved his job.
No. And what I didn't like about that interview is how candid and calm he was about Amorim. It's clear to see that we all knew they were planning to give him a long time.
Yeah.
You can tell. Like any normal club would have sacked their manager by now. We've had lesser clubs.
Any big club would have sacked them. Not even big club, because look at Nottingham Forest, they pulled the plug.
That's what I'm saying. Normal club.
West Ham pulled the plug.
Yeah.
West Ham pulled the plug on Potter. So like not even any big club, but any massive club. Because we're supposed to be Man United. We're supposed to be on the same page as Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, and Barcelona.
Real Madrid, Barcelona,
if
but
these guys had Amorim, they would have sacked him already.
Done. But the issue is now, we knew if it's 3 years, this is like a detrimental effect. I think Man United are going to get worse. Players like Kobe Mainoo, all those fringe players that I feel like should be playing will not start, will not play, and they'll look to leave.
But they Kobe. Sorry to cut you off, but Kobe he can't start. He can't start because you look at it,
Yeah.
You've got Cass
Bruno
as the 6. He's trying to shoehorn Bruno. I'm going to get back to him in a second. Trying to shoehorn Bruno into the 8. And obviously the front 3 is the ones he spent money on. Obviously, Mbuemo, Sesko, Cunha, and then obviously he's got his favourite Mason Mount to be fair, had a decent game against Sunderland, to be fair to him. As well. So it's like, where can you put Cobby? Cobby should be playing where Mount is playing. He should be playing where Mount is playing. That's where in that left 10. But Amorim doesn't see him there. Amorim doesn't see him playing in the 8 role either. So it's like, well, because we know why he's kept him, because if anything were to happen to Bruno, he needs him. He needs the bodies. But
I don't even think it's Amorim that wanted to keep him. I think the club said no.
Yeah, because the fans would have lost it.
Yeah.
The fans would have lost it, and I don't blame him, because I've been now hearing that obviously if we don't get Champions League next season, we're going to have to sell Cobby to get pro profit. So it's like there's a lot of things riding on this season, and this manager, we brought it up previous times, ST, Glasner went into Crystal Palace, bro. Did he have his players? No. Glasner actually had better players 2 seasons ago than he has right now. And Crystal Palace only lost their first game in 19 in all competitions the other day against Everton.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you in a system that Amorim played? Because remember, he lost to Lise, to Bayern.
Yeah, Eze. He's lost Eze.
Eze's gone to Arsenal. Obviously, Edouard got frozen out. There's a couple others. Gay, he could have lost Gay to Liverpool, but obviously we know what happened there. So do you know what I mean? Like, Glasner's gone into this football club, who's a smaller football club, and gone and won the FA Cup. Seems to have the number on Liverpool all the time.
Yeah.
And it's competing. And it's competing.
And playing great football.
And playing good football. Whereas we've got a manager that cannot do that. And he's supposed to be the one with the better players. With the same fucking system. Yep. Like, how blind do you have to be? Now, don't get me wrong, ST, I completely understand the pressure. The 2 pressures are different. That's what people are going to bring up. People are going to bring up the pressures are different. Right? Both teams need to win football matches, though. Yes, the scrutiny is not the same. But Glasner's out here doing things, winning Crystal Palace their first trophy ever.
In the same league.
And then obviously got them in the Conference League. They're only in the Conference League by default because of what those scumbags Nottingham Forest did to them. Mm-hmm. Right? And they are competing with every single team that they are playing. Right? And we look like we can't compete with every single team that we play. Right? And that's the thing, ST, that bothers me. Like, there's nothing that points, like, there's no positives that point to me to be like, yes, let's give this manager more time. No, bro. There's no more time for this guy. As I said, that Sunderland should have allowed him to keep his job. The only thing I can see, ST, is that the club don't want to make the same mistake, even though there's a plethora of mistakes. The club don't want to make the same mistake twice in 2 years. Because remember, Amorim didn't want to come in November. He wanted to come at the beginning of this season. I don't think the club want to do it again. So I think they have no choice but to let him stay to the end of the season. The problem is, ST, as I said to you, even though we've said, yes, we've made record revenue, even though we've been in the mud, the interest on the debt is going to change after this season. And we cannot spend nowhere near the money that we spent in the summer. Mm-hmm. So without the Champions League football...
Without European football?
Bro, not even European football, because us qualifying for the conference doesn't mean anything. Us qualifying for the Europa still has a deficit. Had we won the Europa League last season and got into the Champions League, we would have broke even. Us qualifying for Europa isn't going to do nothing for our money. We have to get Champions League football. We can't do that with this manager. It's impossible, bro. Bro, this manager has come in. We watched, and everyone talks about, settling. They need to settle, blah, blah. We watched Mbeumo tear it up for Brentford for the past 2-3 seasons. We watched
Cunha the same.
Cunha last season in a struggling Wolverhampton Wanderers team tear it up. Yeah. Then take all right. And Bournemouth weekend because Brentford are a good side and they looked good and they top of table finish. So let's not even use Mbemo. We watched Cunha tear it up for Wolves in a poor Wolverhampton Wanderers side, and he looks worse now. He looks worse now than what he did at Wolves, and Wolves were rubbish.
There is not one single player in this team that looks any better since
Not one,
been.
ST. But the reason why I use Cunha as an example is because people will come out and say, well, with Sesko, well, Leverkusen were a good side because of no, not was it Leverkusen that you came from? No, it was it
Leipzig.
Leipzig were a good side. They're qualified for the Champions League. Brentford, well, they finished in the top of the table, and we know how Brentford looked, and they always look good. That's why I picked out Cunha. Because correct me if I'm wrong, ST, I can't remember. Did Wolves finish below us? Did they finish 16th or 17th, something like that? I think they finished 16th.
Yeah, they finished 16th. Yeah, below
they could have done. You lot will fact check me if I'm wrong. So how is a team that finished below? Hold on, let me double check that. I made that sure because then again, because you know these keyboard warriors be like, well, they didn't this, that, and the other, and even if they finish, and even if they did finish. 24, 25, right? Let's look at the table.
I'm pretty sure they finished.
Yeah, they finished 16th.
Yeah, they
same
did,
points as us, but 16th.
Yeah.
So a team that did just as bad as we did, and Cunha looks worse in this team
with worse players around him.
And Wolves had worse players around him. And bro, there's nothing good about this manager. There's nothing good. Look, what I will say is this, ST, to give balance to the argument. When you look at the game against Arsenal, we were unlucky to lose that game. It was a goalkeeping error that cost us cool. When you look at the first half against Burnley, we should have been out of sight. Should have been 4-5-0. Game should have been done. When you look at the game against Sunderland in the first half, we should have had more than we should have been out of sight. So in that aspect, there are positives. But look at the game against Manchester City. Look at the game against Brentford. Look at the game against Grimsby Town. Look at the game against someone else that we played that I can't remember. Fulham.
Chelsea.
The way out. Well, Fulham. Look at the Chelsea game.
The Chelsea
when
one,
it was
second
10
half.
versus
It was 10-10. Yeah. Yep.
Now, don't get me wrong, ST. Chelsea were just as bad as us because they couldn't break us down. But my whole point was, as soon as it went down to 10 men, Chelsea took control back of the game.
Yeah.
Right? So this is my thing, ST, is when there's nothing positive that you can say. You can take the first 45 minutes of the games that I said, but in the second half, all those teams decided to adapt. You've got what's it name? Who's the new manager of Brentford? Can't remember his name.
Keith Andrews?
Keith Andrews. Yeah, Keith Andrews. Novice in this game. Man said, yeah, well, we knew how United were going to play, so this is how we prepared. You can have the basis of how a team's going to play, cool, because you know a team's going to play 4-3. But they said, yeah, so this is what we did. So that's why we said, you know what, because Harry Maguire's playing, because they thought they were going to play for high, we put speed and we ran in behind. Pep, the game against us, against Manchester City, and don't get me wrong, Manchester City are still a good side. What Pep did is he told Doku and he told Foden, get in the midfield and flood it, because they've only got 2 in there. If we can get 4 in there, we're going to run riot. And that's exactly what they did. It's too easy to play against us. We're so predictable. And this manager doesn't adapt to anything, bro. And it's at the point now where it's like, well, how long are we going to let this continue? How long are we going to let the bleed happen? Because 10 fraud was the same thing. We let him go too long. We're going to do the same thing with Amorim.
Yep. Listen, I don't think I could have said it better myself. That's exactly what you're saying is exactly how I feel. And the thing is, and there is going to be the argument, oh, look how many games you've given Amorim. Oh, he's
had over 50 games. He's had 50 plus games.
He's had a year and a bit now. He's had a year now.
Yeah, it's just coming up to a year in November.
Coming up to a year now. Yeah. There is no excuse. I would be able to defend him if I at least saw at least decent football. But I can say, yeah, this is what's happening and stuff like that. But there's nothing. There was no new manager bounce. It got worse.
Yeah, it got
I
worse.
don't. I didn't think it could get worse from Ten Hag, but it got worse. It got dark. I was generally worried that we'll get.
Bro,
I was generally worried.
we were in the
I
pits
was
of hell after that Europa
yeah, I
League.
was, bro. I was generally worried that we'd get relegated.
Bro, it's crazy. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. But look, ST, he's still here.
We've got Liverpool next, don't
We
we?
got Liverpool coming up on Sunday, right? Now, people will say they're rival fans who want to see Amorim stay, but more so that Liverpool are struggling at the moment. They
They
obviously
are.
lost to Chelsea, 2-1 last minute goal. Lost to Galatasaray in the Champions League, and lost to who? Oh, Crystal Palace. Lost to
Crystal
Crystal
Palace, yeah.
Palace in the league. So they're on a 3-game losing streak right now. So when you look at ST, Liverpool have got problems. Isak hasn't settled, but obviously we know because he didn't have a preseason. Salah looks old. They look like they missed Luis Diaz. Gakpo isn't really doing anything.
I was surprised when he left.
Yeah, I'm surprised they let Luis Diaz go. That one still doesn't make sense to me. Konate looks like he is just running his contract down and he doesn't want to be there. I think he's injured now. He got injured for France.
I think he did, yeah.
Over the international break. Obviously, Van Dijk looking a bit suspect. Frimpong and Kirkes haven't settled. So Liverpool have issues, bro. So you would think any other team in the Premier League would be going to Anfield. Obviously, we know Anfield. It's a fortress. It's a cauldron. It's so difficult to get anything there. But other teams will be going, we got a puncher's chance. Not Man United. Not Man United. And but it is a chance for Amorim to prove himself and the team to prove themselves that they can do this, because there are problems. I think one of the biggest issues, but the problem again, ST, this is the whole thing about this rigid system. One of the biggest issues that and Chelsea exploited was in transition against Liverpool in the midfield. They had a massive hole in their midfield, so they were able to run through it. Unfortunately, we've got a bigger hole, so we're not going to be able to exploit that. Out wide is our best bet, obviously, and Buemo against Kirkes, which isn't going to be easy because Kirkes want to go the other way. And the problem is if he plays Mason Mount, because Mason Mount versus Frimpong or Sobolski, it's not a threat. And as much as Van Dijk's having a wobble, and it probably looks like Joe Gomez will be playing centre back with Van Dijk, bro, Seshko isn't going to cause them no problems.
No.
I'd rather see Xerxes. I think Xerxes would cause more of a problem.
I want to see Xerxes as well.
For them more than Seshko right now. I think Seshko, I'm happy that he's off the mark so people can stop 007 and all that.
He's not a bad player.
I just feel like, because I think there's an article come out, apparently he's lonely here. And it's like, well...
I don't think you know what I think it is? I think Newcastle generally wanted him. And I think he wanted
Newcastle
to
did. Newcastle did want him, but I think
he wanted to go.
I personally think Seshko probably wanted to stay in Germany a little bit longer.
Maybe.
Personally. But he's at United now, and as I said, he's off the mark. He's not a bad player at all. But I think in this game, I think having Xerxes dropping in the hole and Buemo and Cunha going the other way could be massive for us in terms of, because Seshko's going to want to go up against Van Dijk, and there's no point in doing that, whereas Xerxes will come off him.
And Xerxes knows how he plays from the national team.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it will be a masterstroke if he was going to do that, but we know this manager's not going to do that. And here's the other thing, ST. Sorry, I said I was going to come back to him. Bruno Fernandes. The talk is, Bruno's your best player. Why isn't he playing in one of the 10s? Why did you have to go and get Cunha and then Buemo when Bruno could have played in the 10? You're playing Bruno out of position. He's not an 8. He should be playing higher up the field. I don't want to hear this talk. You want to know why I don't want to hear this talk? Because when a certain Paul Labille Pogba, and we were telling people, amongst other people, he's playing out of position. He doesn't play in the double pivot. Everyone's response was, well, he has to get on with it. He should be doing better.
And he was still performing.
Yeah, he has to do better. This, that, and the other. He should be doing better than what he's doing, given his ability. So why isn't the same energy being used for Bruno Fernandes? Why is he not being said that for his ability he should be doing better? This guy has been putting up stinker after stinker since the beginning of the season, and nobody's talking about it. It's just, well, he's out of position. But when it was Labille and he was performing but wasn't getting the numbers, it was he should be doing better. The one time that Labille got to play in any, because I wouldn't say Labille is a 10. He plays in a 4-3-3 on the left side of an 8. But the one time he got to play for half a season in the 10 position, he put up numbers that were better than Kevin De Bruyne's. So I don't want to hear that shit of, Bruno's playing out of position. He needs to do better since he's so good in it.
Yeah. If he's got the talent,
or is it that because he's so limited in his ability and the fact that he can't stat pad, that him playing in this position is exposing how basic a footballer he is. And this is not me trying to get onto him because I'm not Bruno's biggest fan, but I just want the same energy being put out for other players instead of it's going to be one for the black players and one for the white players. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, not dealing with that, bro. Because the other thing that got brought up, bro, Florian Wirtz has put up stinker after stinker. If this was Paul Pogba, bro, they'd be looking to lynch, man. They'll be looking to lynch, man, if it was Pogba putting up these performances. And I get it. From my perspective, I'm not going to get on him. It's a new league. It's a new country. It's a new team. It's a new system. I like to try and get players to bed in and see what happens. I don't want to judge them too early. Right? But I'm just going off the energy that the media and everyone else brings. Because if this was Paul Pogba, if this was Fred,
they would be
right? If this was Sancho, because they did the 007. Look how quickly they were quick to bring up the 007 thing with Sancho. Where's that for Florian Wirtz?
It's not there. They're just like, let's support him. And listen, don't get me wrong. I personally think Florian Wirtz is a very good footballer. Obviously, he hasn't set it up a light there. But at the same time, as you said, the white players don't get the same energy as the black players, or of color, or people who are different to them. And this is what I don't like in this country, especially. And it frustrates me.
Bro, it's annoying, bro. But look, it's an opportunity for this team to go out there and because, bro, we haven't. So if I remember off the top of my head correctly, and people can fact check me, in our last 10 games in the Premier League, I think we've only beaten Liverpool once. I think we in between that we've had 2 FA Cup wins at Old Trafford. The 4-3 and a 3-2. I think the 4-3 we went on to win the FA Cup.
That was the one with what's it called, with Diallo scored and stuff.
Yeah. That one. Yeah. Scored that winner. So yeah, I think the last time we won at Anfield, 2016.
Mata, I think it was when Mata scored for us.
No, so the one Mata was 2015 when he scored the bicycle. When we went there and absolutely dominated them.
And they said that Van Gaal couldn't play football.
Yeah, anyway, we went there and dominated them because Mata scored the scissor kick. I remember, yeah. So that was 2015. 2016 is when we went there 1-0. Rooney scored in that one. But that's 2016. That's the last time we won at Anfield. I think that there was another stat that I had. But yeah, something like, but in the last 10 games in the league, I think we've lost 5, drawn 4 and only won once, and that was a 2-1 when Sancho scored his first goal for us at Old Trafford. But yeah, we haven't won at Anfield since 2016 under Louis van Gaal. And then when I look at it, our last, I'm trying to remember this from our last 4 losses to Liverpool, 3-0 at Old Trafford. Then it was a 7-0 at Anfield. Then I think it was 4-0 at Anfield. And then it was 5-0 at Old Trafford. That was the 5-0 at Old Trafford was Ollie. The 7-0 was obviously Ten Hag. Bro, that's 19 goals we've conceded without replying. And that doesn't, because I think we've got 2 draws in between which were 2-2. But I'm talking about in terms of losses, we've conceded 9. Anytime we've lost to Liverpool in the last 4 games, we've conceded 19 and not scored a single goal. And I think the one before that we lost 4-2 or something like that. So, bro, it is a terrible record that we've got at Anfield. Like, this is a sort of record that Arsenal fans had at Old Trafford, in terms of not going there and getting results. So there's no better time. There's no better time than to pull a result. And to be fair to Amorim, last season at Anfield, the 2-2, if you remember, we should have won. When Xerxes squared it and Maguire should have scored. We should have won that game. So it is proven that we can go there and cause them a problem. And as I said, there's no better time to play them right now, them coming off of 3 losses. But then you got to look on the other side of the coin and say Liverpool cannot afford to lose this game, because they cannot afford to lose 4 in a row, and they cannot afford to lose to us. So they're going to be up for it. And you got to look at it. Isak's getting criticism. Salah, this is Salah's favourite game, playing Man United. Wirtz is getting criticised. They cannot afford to go to Anfield and not perform. So on one hand, Amorim, it's no better time for you to prove yourself and the players and go out there and get a result and end this hoodoo at Anfield. But on the other hand, we could be under for a severe spanking because of the amount of pressure that Liverpool are going to be under. So it's actually in a balance in terms of pressure and what's going to take place. Bro, what do you think is going to happen?
I don't trust Man United. You know what? I'm going to be hopeful. Let me be hopeful today. You know what? It's a good vibe today. I know we've been talking about Man United to dampen the mood, but 1-1. We're going to get a result. We'll get a result.
I will pray for that. I will hope that happens. But realistically, bro, I think it's going to look like another hiding, to be honest. I think it's going to be another hiding, to be honest. I can't lie to you. But we can only hope. We're going to see what happens. But I just can't see Liverpool losing 4 in a row. Obviously, you're calling a draw, which is fair. But I think they're just going to go hell for leather. That Anfield crowd is going to be up for it. They can't afford to not put in a performance. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in that one. That's the big game of the weekend. Anyway, but finally, before we go, ST, we got to talk about Nketiah putting out this tweet that allegedly somebody's in advanced stages to buy Manchester United Football Club. Now,
I'm not believing anything.
We've been down this road. I'm not entertaining it whatsoever until I see on the signs on the dotted line and they've got the scarf over their head. I'm not interested. But one thing that did interest me, ST, quickly is nothing to do. It is to do with the sale, but not in terms of me saying anyone's going to come and buy. But it's so the club right now. So basically, the structure is that in terms of the Glazers, because 18 months have transpired, the Glazers can now sell the football club again. There was an 18-month clause where they couldn't sell the football club. Now, there's something, it's called a drag-on clause or a dragging-on clause in this thing, where basically, if they were to sell the club, that Ratcliffe would have to recoup the money that he put in, the 250 mil that he's put in the club. He has to recoup it back. That runs out February, or is it February or April 2027? Can't remember which one it is. So what I think is happening now, ST, is that the Glazers are trying to push, because at this moment in time, the club, I think with that Ratcliffe getting his money back, it works out to be 4.85 billion that the club is worth at this moment in time. The Glazers said they're not going to sell for less than 5, and I think they're trying to drum up interest because they're looking to make as much money, because as soon as that clause is gone for Ratcliffe, someone can come in for less. And I think that as much as I still don't think the Glazers want to sell, I think they're looking for another investor, which is why they bought this up. There is a possibility that the club could be sold, but they want an extortionate amount of money. I know that the Qataris put in, I think it worked out to be 5 billion. Remember when the Qataris put in 5 billion, and the Glazers then said they wanted 7 or 8 billion for Manchester United. So I think that's what this is. As I said, I'm like you. I've got no interest in it, but I'm just looking at it and thinking to myself, is there at some point that they're going to get another investor in, or are they genuinely looking to sell before 2027 when that clause is gone and the club is not valued as much as it is right now? That's how I'm looking at it, Steve. I don't know how you're looking at it.
That would make sense. I think now, because Man United are really in like a decline now, they're probably business-wise looking to get the best.
But they can't afford to build that stadium. They can't afford to build that stadium.
No.
So, which is why I'm thinking about the investor side of it. But
so maybe there may be legs in it, but I'm not. Like the Glazers, it's still Man United are still profitable, no matter what. We still make sales outside of the people still come to stadiums is pretty much full. Attendances are there, even though there's a lot of disagreements. There's a lot of things that are still going on. So Man United are still making money, and I've said this before, but the fans were not going to do it unless fans stop putting money in the club and walk out and all these things like this. The Glazers are still going to get money.
Yeah,
so
this is it. They've never put a penny in. But the fact of the matter is, for them to do this stadium, they're going to have to put a penny in. And as I said, they're in debt. They're in so much debt. Obviously, the debt that they put onto the club. So they may be looking for a way out. But we'll see. As I said, I'm not giving it the airtime that a lot of other channels are giving it, because I don't believe anything. I'll believe it when I see it. Same way how with the Qataris, I didn't get gassed over it. I'll believe it when I see it as well. But people, listen, that is it from us. Let us know what you think in the comment section. Let us know any of our Ghanaians in the comment section, any of our Ivorians, any Egyptians, any of the current
Cape Verde. Also, we forgot to tell them. I know we didn't speak about the most countries, but this is the second smallest nation ever to qualify for their first World Cup. Not really a footballing country. However, the Portuguese part of Africa doesn't get mentioned a lot. Usually do the English and France, but I have to congratulate Cape Verde on a fantastic performance.
Bebe and them, man, bro. See, Fergie knew what he was doing.
Fergie, took man off the street and said, "Yeah, you want to play ball?
Yeah,
come here." You see, look, I for talent.
100. But yeah, let us know how happy you are. If any Nigerians in the chat, let us know how much you lot are sweating right now in terms of qualifying.
Any Nigerians, don't let us know.
Let us know what you think about the ongoing debate about players trying to choose their mother countries as a second rate. Let us know how you think about that. Let us know how you feel. Do you think that it's come because we need as much as help as we can get, or it's like, no, you didn't want to play for us in the first place, so why should we let you now? Let us know what obviously you think about Amorim. Are you Amorim in? Are you Amorim out? Let us know what you think about the Liverpool game. Is this the best chance for Amorim to put a stamp down and say, look, I'm here to stay? Or is it the fact that Liverpool will be like, nah, we can't afford to lose 4 games in a row, so we're going to absolutely slaughter Manchester United? And let us know what you think about this whole United could be for sale malarkey. Is there anything in it? Are you like us where we're just like, you know what? until it's signed to the dotted line, we don't believe it because we don't believe anything that these guys say? Or is it just like, yeah, there might be some truth in it because of the certain rumblings that's going on behind the scenes and whatnot? And the fact that Turkey Al-Sheikh's come out and said that something is going on. He said not him or his people, but somebody else. Let us know what you think in the comment section. And as usual, before we go, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get the likes up, get the subscriptions up. As I said all the time, share. We are here. And don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. I want to say thank you very much to my guy ST as usual. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. It was I'm happy. At least I'm generally happy today. Like I can smile. Like a lot of the people are laughing at me because my football teams have been in the mud. I shouldn't be watching football, but you know what? I'm back. I'm back with new energy, new happiness.
Nah, that's good, bro. I'm glad to hear it. People coming up, obviously more footy chat. What are we in October?
Benavides versus Yard is coming soon.
That's November. Yeah. So Benavides. So we'll definitely, because we've got Benavides versus Yard coming up. We've got Eubank Ben 2. Also, we've got UFC event coming up at 2, and I will definitely want to talk about. And people, it's in the works. It's in the works in the background. I am trying to see
round 2,
if we can get Mr. KA and the truth back on before the NBA season starts next week. We may have the NBA preview. I'm just putting it in the atmosphere, trying to work a little magic. We see what we can do. So
we need that back, man.
We might
go back and watch it.
And we might be back for that one as well. We'll definitely try and get that for you. But listen, people, stay safe out there. Be safe. And we shall see you very, very soon. Peace.
Peace.